AskReddit by Longhagrindalemna. How would you feel if the US government made the day for voting a holiday? Make it a holiday and have voting last either a week or a 24-hour period so people deemed essential workers can actually have a chance. Yeah, the biggest issue is that even if it was a holiday, that would only apply to federal workers and employees of businesses that actually close during holidays. There are tons of businesses that stay open during holidays, especially in the service industry. Making Election Day a holiday wouldn't do much good for people working in restaurants, grocery stores, movie theaters, etc. Serious question. Are elections in the US not on Sundays but on regular working days? Yup. I think they're always on Tuesdays. I feel like it'd encourage more people to actually vote. Especially if they kept their 4th of July energy for that day. Let's vote on 4th of July. In Australia it's on a weekend but polling stations are open earlier in the week so you can go earlier if you are working, but people like to go on the day so you can get your democracy sausage. You get sausages? Actually, coming from another country, I really cannot understand why it should not be a holiday or a Sunday, where most people have time. As a democratic country you should enable most of your citizens to be able to vote. And that is generally the case when they have time to vote. Well, for example, here in the Czech Republic, they basically said that whoever is in COVID quarantine will not be able to vote. This decision was not well received, of course. It's not democratic. We have a general election this year and I am working it as a polling place manager. We have voting on a Saturday and this year because of COVID they're opening some of the voting places the Saturday prior also. For 2 weeks leading up to the elections you can cast a special vote, so there are plenty of opportunities and no one has to miss out. In fact, this year, for the first time, you don't even have to be enrolled to vote. You can enroll and vote at the same time. I can't believe America has an election on a Tuesday. That's absolutely insane. Not only should it be a public holiday for you, but companies should be legally required to release staff, if they are working, in order for them to be able to vote. They are legally required to release them to vote. At best it would be akin or President's Day or Labor Day. Office and bank workers would probably have the day off, but some jackwagon would get it in their mind to start promoting voting day sales so the majority of the retail workforce wouldn't get the time off and would probably reduce voter turnout. And those people off would be shit-faced by 10 AM and either forget to vote altogether or vote hammered. Vote by mail, then it wouldn't need to be a holiday. Biggest problem with the holiday is that at best only office workers would get the day off. Not blue collar, fast food, customer facing services, min wage workers. It also doesn't address lack of polling stations in some counties. Experience: 20 years voting by mail in Oregon. Yeah, I work more on federal holidays because suddenly every white collar office worker has the day off and wants to go shopping. If it was a holiday I'd pretty much not be able to vote since I'd be at work all day, when currently I just go in the early morning before my shift starts. Meanwhile, everyone in my family who has an office job that closes on federal holidays has always been able to leave the office in the middle of the day to go vote anyway and then just return to work. Perhaps mail-in voting can remedy this for most people, but personally I just don't mail things that often, so I'd be paranoid that I made a mistake and my vote didn't count. When I vote in person, my polling place has a machine that you immediately scan your ballot into in any direction, so you know it's there and accounted for. Wouldn't making Election Day a federal holiday create demand for service industry folks and retail workers to take on more shifts, doubles as businesses hold sales and such to take advantage of all of the federal employees' day off? As in, those among the most impacted by Election Day availability? I would vote for more education on the correct usage of commas in schools. Comma horror. Plenty of people still work on any other holidays. Why would this be any different? In my country it is a holiday, and the voting stations are open from 7 AM until 9 PM. I also think, but stand corrected, that employers must allow their employees an opportunity to vote. I actually don't think it would increase voting. People would plan other stuff to do with their day off, not including a vote. In the UK it's always a weekday, but the polls are open very early and late, so it's easy to fit around work. It's about access. Don't care, we'll have to go to work anyway. Would love it, and encourage it, dude. It should be a thing. Full stop. I actually didn't know this until now. How can they even conduct election during a working day? FKKK. In America, every day is a working day. How would you feel if using unnecessary commas was illegal? People would just turn it into the same thing as most holidays, and the working class, which needs the time the most, will be made to work. Voting day sale. 50% off store-wide. Get the voting day special, ribby, lobster tail and specialty drink for $23.99. Etc. We need mail-in voting, more polling places that can't be shut down, infrastructure to help people get to polling places. Truthfully, it would be a holiday for white-collar workers. Retail, food service, and blue-collar people would still be at work. There'd be no point.